Giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Takanaz, double honor to the Apostle of Radio. He blessed all the brothers in the truth. I don't know if you guys, I'll be kind of yelling, so I'm kind of trying to talk lower because this camera kind of pick up everything, pick up everything. So today, camp, we're going to start on the topic of keeping the faith, as this new year come in, they so-called say this is new year, but as this new year come in, we want to keep the faith, man. Another year doing the work until the Lord come back. No man knows the day, no man knows the time, but we just know the season. We know that we're in the season of the Lord coming back. So we want to keep the faith, keep doing the work, don't become slothful, and don't give up the faith. So what we're going to do is we're pretty much just going to go through the Bible and just give some examples of keeping the faith, keeping the faith strong. So I'm going to start off right here. And we only going to get a little bit because my camera only got enough space for to film a little bit, but we probably stay out here a little bit longer doing the work afterwards. This is First Maccabees chapter 7. I'm going to start at chapter 2, but I want to get straight to the point. So I'm going to start at verse 19. And it's kind of busy out here too right quick. Give you a view of that. All the cars out here, we ain't on the back street. We ain't on the back street ducking and hiding, man. We ain't on the back street ducking and hiding. But this is First Maccabees chapter 2. Maccabees is a great book to read from because you see it's about a father, Matthethesis. He has some sons, and they went on a revolt because all our people was in sin, and they finally took that stand and say, look, enough is enough. So we're gonna read it. I'm gonna jump from verse 19. I'll start at verse 19. It says, then Matthethesis answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments. We see that going on in America right now. All the nations came under America, the so-called land of the free. They all chasing the American dream, and they kind of went away from what they learned from their fathers. Now they follow the way of, these people that took over America. It's the same thing today. It says, but he said, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. So they're Israelites. They said, look, we ain't going to follow Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving. It's really they're celebrating them coming over here and committing genocide on the Native Americans, taking them down and taking their land, which is Gadai, which is where this brother comes from. That's pretty much what the celebration is for. They're thankful that they got this land. But how did they get this land? Through genocide. Now, we ain't going to keep those things. We're going to follow, we're going to research, we're going to learn, we're going to follow the way of our fathers, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. And then there's high holy days that we keep, like the Passover that's coming up pretty soon. It says, God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. So God forbids that. We would not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. Now when we had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. So he had so much faith. Look what he did. So he said, look, we're going to keep the faith. And that's what we're talking about today, is keeping the faith. He said, we ain't going to be in sin. We're going to keep the faith. Which thing when Matthethesis saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and the rain trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Therefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. So he ran up and killed him down on the altar because he was sinning against the Lord. It's kind of like today, if you got a pastor, he's not teaching you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. He's saying it's okay to break the law. And it's basically like if a man that's in the faith ran up there and killed him on the altar. Basically, that's what he did. That's how zealous, that's how much he wanted to follow the law and hated sin. It says, verse 25, also the king commissioner, who compelled man to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt him zealously for the law of God. So he did it because he was zealous of the law of God. He loved the law of God. Like Venus did unto Zambri, the son of Salma. And Matthethesis cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. And that's what we're doing. We're out here in camp and we're crying throughout the city. We're saying, look, if you're zealous of the law, keep the law, statutes, commandments, follow the Lord. Follow the law, statutes, commandments, have faith in the Lord. That's what we're doing. Exactly what we're doing right now. It's what he did. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever that he had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased far upon them. Those afflictions increased upon them because they were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So they had so much faith, they kept the faith so much that they left out of the land and they went into the wilderness. A lot of us don't know how to live in the wilderness. A lot of us don't know how to fish. A lot of us don't know how to start a fire. But they left the city. They went down to the wilderness, even with their children, because they wanted to go to a place where they were able to keep the law, statutes, commandments, and follow the Lord. And pour it up and pour that. So that's just an example. Give brothers faith in order to keep the faith. That's just an example. Look what Maccabees did. Judas Maccabees, Jonathan Maccabees, and Simon Maccabees. Judas Maccabees was killed in battle, so they had a revolt. They were going back and forth going to battle. He got killed in battle. Jonathan got set up. He got ambushed with 1,000 men. They killed all 1,000 men, captured him, and put him to death. And Simon, he got set up. He was having drinks. He got drunk with his children, and then he got set up and got killed. So through reading this Bible and understanding, it gives you more faith because you understand what our fathers had to go through. So how much more are we going to have to go through?
Genesis chapter 22, starting at verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of.
Alright, stop right there. So everybody know this story. If you say you're in the truth or you're a believer, you should know this story. This is Abraham, and they say Abraham is a example of our faith. Everybody said he want to have the faith of Abraham. And this story goes into that Abraham has so much faith. How many men would do this? He had so much faith in the Lord that he was going to sacrifice. He believed that an angel came to him and he was going to sacrifice his own begotten loving son Isaac for the Lord. But you want to see what happened. It was all a test.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place which God had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and a knife, and they went both of them together.
Right, okay,
So how do you do
verse 9. You're going to jump down to verse 9.
And they came to the place which God had told of him, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife, and himself. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am.
Right here, start verse 16. You're going to jump down to verse 16.
And said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
Right there. So he got blessed, which, same thing with Job. If you read the book of Job, Job sacrificed. He sacrificed losing his children, everything in order to follow the Lord, but he got blessed 7 times fold at the end. Same thing with Abraham. So the angel stopped him, so he didn't kill Isaac, but it was a test to see if he had that much faith in the Lord. So the angel came down and said, Abraham, don't kill him. He didn't, and because of that, he showed how much faith he had. So it's just an example of what extreme faith in the Lord is. This man was going to kill his only begotten son, his chosen son, in order to follow the Lord. But he got blessed at the end of it. This is another example. Let's get another example. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 7. I'm going to jump through it because I ain't going to read the whole chapter. It says, it came to pass also that 7 brethren of their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine flesh. So the king took them and because it's against the law, it's a sin for us to eat pork. That's what swine flesh is. So the king took them and was like, look, against their law, he's going to make them eat the swine flesh. And were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first by thus, what wouldst thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our king, of our father. So they said, look, man, you're going to kill us before we eat this pork. So that's how much faith they had in the Lord. That's how much they believed in the Lord. That's how much they wanted to follow the Lord. They said, look, before we eat flesh, before we eat swine's flesh and pork and sin against our Lord, we would rather die. You got to keep that faith. You got to have that faith when you is true. Now, there's a big reward for it. We're going to get to that too. Now, it says, now I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but it says, 7 brothers, one by one, they were killed. I'll read a little bit of it. It says, then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cardons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut off the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost part of his body, and the rest of his brother and mother looking